I call the honourable member Alfred Nairo.
Mr. Speaker.
Kia ora.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker.
Mitaki.
In light of the comments by Mr. Prasad, the opposition have been going on for some time about the issue of perception. And I suppose, Mr. Prasad, there is an issue of perception that one may perceive that there is a conflict. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, what I do want to make a point is...
Point of order, the Honourable Dr. Rajin Prasad.
Mr. Speaker, having made a personal statement, is it in order for the member then to refer to that and deride it in the way he has?
Can I say that once a personal statement is made, then that's it, and there should be no further reflection on the member. It has been accepted by the House. I call the Honourable Member Alfred Nairo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to make a couple of points, though, to the member who just spoke, just in regards to his comments about one of the commissioners, and he raised this up as a conflict of interest. Mr. Speaker, we know that the election period officially is around about 3 months out from an election. This member, who isn't a commissioner, has not declared during that period of time, did not declare that they were going to be a candidate. So I think it's, again, I want to sort of reiterate the point, okay, there was no conflict that was in there. There are issues, and the fact is that inside the Commission itself, there is a senior staff member who is a candidate of the Labour Party for Otaki. Now, in that regards, action has been taken in place, a declaration has been made, and the right appropriate process have been... The appropriate, what you call the process wasn't in place because the Commissioner had not made and officially had acknowledged that that they were standing. So I think that it's a bit of an anomaly, it's politicking that's going on. But Mr. Speaker, I want to get straight to the point on this bill, which I think is of importance. The previous speaker actually talked about the issue around independence. We know that the Families Commission is still bound by the Crown Entities Act of 2004. There's no evidence in the things that she's been talking about where there has been conflicts, where there has been an issue where the independence has been taken away. In fact, I also want to talk about the fact that Sir Peter Gluckman, who's been highly acknowledged and recognised for his skill, his independence, has clearly said that he has confirmed and he's commented and he's also celebrated the shifts and the changes of the Commission in the direction it's taking. It has not changed its intent. In the new statement of intent that is here, it clearly declares the fact that the Families Commission has an exciting new mandate to act as a catalyst in New Zealand's social policy. Clear focus and direction. None of that has been removed. None of that has been taken away, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think what's very clear is what is exciting is the fact is that we are now seeing that this is going to be focused also on evidence-based. Mr. Prasad did talk about the fact that it was managing contracts. It's not managing contracts. The Families Commission, in fact, if anything, is monitoring and evaluating research that is evidence-based that does make a difference. And if he'd read the full report, he would have seen that the Commission has also too focused on issues like Pacific families and problem debt. In fact, today we had the Retirement Commissioner talk about the importance of this evidence, of this collaboration, again to dealing with the issues of families in our communities. If he'd read even further, he would have seen that the Family and Whānau Status Report, which is absolutely important, talking about the high rates of family mobility, transients in our communities. Again, this is clear evidence that we're bringing to the conversation and the discussion for decision makers around this. The last thing I want to say is the longitudinal study, which I think is absolutely important. Mr. Prasad talked about this and said that there was no need. There was no need. Mr. Prasad knows that the fact is that the longitudinal study also needs to have a champion. Needs to have a champion. And I'll say this, that previously before, when we had under the previous minister, Mr. Mahari, he commissioned the blueprint study, the blueprint report, and I was a part of that blueprint report. Over 2 years when we developed that, one thing that it lacked in its implementation was a champion. We've now got a Families Commission that's taking on the role of growing up New Zealand, which is absolutely critical. It's the right role. Ms. Ardern knows it. Mr. Prasad knows it. This is a critical role. We think that both the changes that have been made focus the intent and the direction on the Families Commission that absolutely does make a difference. It's evidence-based, it's independent, and we are actually seeing the results already. Mr. Speaker, I'm looking forward to this bill implementing itself even further in this third reading of the bill in the House. I commend this bill to the House.
I call the Honourable Member Barbara Stewart.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise on behalf of New Zealand First to speak to the third reading of the Families Commission Amendment Bill.